So this is the kind of matte red colour. And you can see the difference in the screen height and also the handlebar height. In terms of the 6-inch on the grey one, which is standard. This one also has a freer breathing air filter as well. Hello Ride-On people. So you join me today on a 2023 Indian Sport Chief model. This is the Thunderstroke 116 engine. I think it's about 120 pound-per-feet of torque off the top of my head. And this is the sportiest model that that Indian do this side of the FTR range, the flat trackers, and I wanted to give it a little go to see whether it was all show or not. But this model has a claimed lean angle of about 30%, 29.5 to be exact, I think. So the foot pegs feel a little bit high for a cruiser. They're not quite forward pegs, and they're not quite directly beneath you. They're kind of midpoint pegs, I would say. So or mid-set, I would say. And this particular bike I'm riding today actually is the stock. So the stock bike has the 6-inch risers. This one has 10-inch, very sons of malarkey, and a taller screen on this particular bike. So the stock screen's probably about similar shape and about half the size of this. And up to about 60 miles an hour here, I would say that the screen is doing a fair job. A little bit of buffeting, but you kind of expect that. And the bars, the standstill, I thought they would be a bit uncomfortable because my arms are actually pointing slightly uphill. They're not even flat. So I thought it would be a little uncomfortable. But in actual fact, they feel pretty nice. They feel pretty comfortable, all things considered. It's quite a lot of weight to stop. I'm not sure what the weight figure is off the top of my head. But this bike is fitted with Brembo brakes as standard, which is becoming more kind of standard feature of Indian and Harley these days, because let's face it, everybody's putting Brembo brakes on their bikes because they just work. The real big difference between this and the other Chiefs is in the suspension. So this bike has piggyback shock at the back, which is made by Fox, who are huge name in truck suspension. They do the live valve suspension systems for the Ford F-150 Raptor, for instance. So they have provided the shocks for this. Up front we've got a KYB fork that's non-adjustable, and the ride is pretty firm without being too jarring. There's a little bit of suspension movement in the back. You're not going to get acres of it like an adventure bike, of course, out of a cruiser, but it's kind of acceptable at legalish speeds. And the front fork's pretty much similar. They're slightly on the choppy side of things. I think they could probably be a little better, to be honest with you. The roads here where I'm riding are pretty rough, so it's a good test for it. But the mirrors are vibrating a fair bit. I can see what's behind me, the type of vehicle and the colour and stuff. I could probably spot a police car, for instance, or another emergency vehicle coming up that I need to get out of the way for. But there's still a little bit of vibration there. And I guess to an extent that's no real different to Harley Davidson. These are humongous American V-twins at the end of the day. The tank surprisingly isn't that wide. You can actually bring your knees in a bit and not have to have them stuck out in the breeze, although the natural foot position does kind of leave your knees typically about an inch or two from the tank. And as the speed rises, you start feeling it a little bit in your shoulders and neck because the bars are quite high, so you're a bit of a windsock, obviously. You're not lent far enough forward to fully alleviate your body weight in the wind, and you're not lent far enough back that it's, you know, truly horrific, like a chopper, where you've got big ape hangers and a backward slant. It's not bad, but your back is fairly straight, and I don't have the luxury of riding a few hundred miles today, and I suspect on a long ride it would be, you know, become uncomfortable after some time. This seat on this particular bike is also not stock. It's a gunslinger seat. I'll probably try and add some pictures at the end of this video to show the difference between the stock bike, which is in a nice battleship grey, and this kind of crimson matte colour that is has all these extras fitted to it. Makes a nice sound on acceleration, quite throaty, and actually feel, you know, the firm suspension actually feels pretty half decent in the corners, and the ground clearance is not at all bad really for a cruiser. So, you know, when we say sport in the name of the bike, we have to put it in context. When we're talking about a race replicant, we say sport, we mean kind of suitable for the track, right? But when we say sport for a cruiser, we mean not grinding out the pegs everywhere, and, you know, can actually stay close to non-cruiser riding friends when out on a ride. Alright, let's try some tight turns in a car park. Pretty horrendous, as you'd imagine. A lot of weight. Not carried as low as you might think. Clutch is a bit grabby. Turning circle is huge. Long wheelbase. It is what it is. It's no middleweight naked for sure. So in terms of kind of posing cruiser bike, yeah, it's okay. It's got that Sons of Anarchy type look to it. It's very West Coast in terms of the high, thin, you know, the high risers and the thin bars, and it's fairly pared down, and it's a large motor. Attracts a bit of attention. Let's see what acceleration's like. Can get off the line fairly well, but what's masked there is that the gearbox is very, very slow and heavy to shift, and the transmission and driveline wants to tie itself in knots a little bit. It has plenty of grip, but then again it's heavy, and it has plenty of torque, but then again it's a massive V-twin. It is what it is. If you're used to Harleys and Indians, you'll probably think it's pretty cool. I mean, I've owned a number of Harleys. I'm pre-Indian now, I think. This is the last one, the range I haven't ridden. And I wouldn't buy it personally. It's not for me, I don't think. I think these risers are better than I was expecting, and I would definitely want those. I'd probably want different bars and a different seat, maybe different foot pegs. But you're already spending $19,000 to $20,000 on this bike before taxes and out the door, depending on which colour you go for. I think it looks best in grey, personally, which I think is $19,000. If you know you want one already, you're probably just going to buy one anyway. But I would urge you to have a test ride if you can, and make your own mind up from there. All right, signing off. Have a great day. Bye.
Hey you, if you want to become one of the Ride On people, don't forget to subscribe. Ride often, ride carefully, ride on.